Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from any part of the world that you're watching me today. My name is Belinda, by way of introduction. Today, I'm talking about the topic today concerns all health workers. Health workers, I mean health professionals like doctors, nurses, pharmacists, or the rest. And also the support care workers, the porters, the cleaners in the hospital, also the kitchen staff. Everybody is involved in maintaining patient safety. And today being the 17th of September, the WHO has named today as the World Health Patient or World Patient Safety Day. I mean to say World Patient Safety Day. So immediately the patient or the client comes to the hospital, it's our duty, it's our responsibility to ensure that we maintain their safety until they get discharged. And even to the home, when they are going home, we should ensure their safety. And how do we do that? We need to implement safe moving and handling. I believe each health institution have their own policy concerning safe moving and handling. We don't want this patient to come up with fractures or broken skin. No, we need to handle them, or get some bruises. No, we don't want that to happen to them. We need to handle them properly, safely. We also want to prevent them from having a fall. Safety. We don't want them to have a fall. And how do we do that? Like for us, for those who work in the nursing home, we know that they are old and some patients cannot walk fully. They cannot fully weight bear or ambulate. At this time, we need to refer them to the OT, the occupational therapist, the physiotherapist, for them to come and reassess and advise for a proper mobility aids. Could be crutches, it could be rollator, Zimmer frame, depends on what you use. Zimmer frame, depending on it could be the full hoist or the quick transfer called the Sarah Steady transfer. Any other means of mobility or mobility aid, it's also important. By so doing, you're trying to maintain the safety of your patient or your resident, depends on the area you work. So everybody is entitled, everybody responsibility to maintain the safety of your patient or your resident. It's everybody's responsibility. And then for the cleaners, they also have their own responsibility, because the cleaners, you do clean the area. And then when you're cleaning, you need to put on a signpost to show that this area is a wet environment, so that people don't walk on it and slip or fall. No, you don't want that to happen. And you also should also alert resident or alert patient that you want to clean this area. And then you put that signpost so that people don't trip or have a fall. So these are ways we can maintain patient safety. Another way is preventing them from acquiring hospital infection, what is called hospital acquired infections or nosocomial. Some patients come into the hospital, to the health institution, and they come up developing another illness which they do not come with, like what we call, there's something like hospital acquired pneumonia or community acquired pneumonia, and many other nosocomial infections. So we try as much as possible to implement good infection practices so that we avoid transmission of infection. Just like even this era of COVID pandemic, we wear the mask, we wear our PPE, our PPE, the personal protective equipment that we wear, in order to prevent transmission of infections. Because it would be a bad thing for a patient to come into the hospital or come into the nursing home and then carry on an infection because of what? We staff, health workers are not implementing proper infection control measures. So these are ways we can maintain patient safety. For this year's patient safety, WHO has coined a different theme today. They have a specific theme they coined, which they mention medication safety. And the slogan for this year is medication without harm. So it entails on all the staff who do administer medication to ensure that patients, residents, or even at their home, that the medication are given without any harm. And how do we do this? Medication use, or the process of medication use, entails ordering of the medication. Like those in the nursing home, we do order medications, like especially when the medication is on a repeat dose, like in your next cycle is on a repeat dose. We do order the medication and send it back to the surgery for them to prescribe. So you need to ensure that your writing, or if you're using the paperwork, is eligible, clear to read. And also it entails also the medication use process, or the medication process use. It also entails the GPs or other allied health professionals who have qualification to license or prescribe medications. Also, it entails them prescribing this medication, sending the script to the pharmacist dispensing this medication, and then the nursing home or the institution you work in receiving this medication, storing it properly at the correct temperature, and then the nurses or the team leaders, depending on where you work, administering this medication. So all these processes, we should ensure that it is safe, from the storage, from the dispensation, from the administration. Everything, the whole process is a safe one. We want to avoid harm to our patients and to our residents. And when we're administering this medication, we want to do be very, very careful not to make a mistake, because there's some medications that sounds alike. We have sound alike medication, we have look alike medications. Like the other day we tried to check in, we received the medication, we're trying to check in a medication with my colleague, and I was like, how come them seem to bisoprolol? But meanwhile, it's not bisoprolol, it's the other one was Bisocordyl. So it takes two persons. That's where it takes two persons to be able to receive a medication and check in medication to avoid what mistake. So these sound alike medications, we need to be careful so that we don't do what, or give our patients overdose or the wrong dose. We need to be very, very careful. And there are look-alike medications also. That's where administering medication, you don't want to be disturbed. Some people in some institution, they have a signpost. When the nurse or the team leader is administering medication, you have a notice, don't disturb, because you need to be very, 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 put focus, your attention in what you are doing in order to prevent mistake. Or else you risk harming your patients, you risk harming your residents. So these are ways we need to prevent it. And there's some patients who have polypharmacy. I love medication. I can remember one of my residents that have like 11 medications or 12 medications to give. And when I come to that patient or that resident, I just ensure that I have maximum attention to what I'm or administering or bringing out, because I don't want to have any risk. I don't want to risk my residents. I don't want to risk my patient's safety. I don't want to cause any harm to them. And then there are situations where we have near misses. It's not an incident, could be any near miss or actual incident. But in a near miss that happens, when maybe you've popped up the medication and you found out that, oh, I pop up the wrong medication, I need to put the right medication, is a near miss. And that's what incident entails. Because in a situation of near miss, the institution or the nursing home or the hospital can come together and discuss on ways to prevent this. What do I do to prevent this from happening? If this medication is not properly labeled, should it be properly labeled? So that I don't make that mistake. There are ways we can discuss so that we avoid risking giving the wrong medication or giving an overdose or even omitting giving that medication. So with this year's policy, with this year's theme from the World Health Organization, which is medication safety, and the slogan medication without harm, it's very, very like it's a call bell, like, reminding us, is like a reminder to us on preventing harm to our residents, to our patients, because sometimes we are overworked. Staff shortage, overworked, could make us, we're in a hurry. I've got this to do in my list, I've got that to do in my list. You tend to be fast doing medication. No, there's no hurrying in giving medication. Look, I can't hurry in any other thing, but in terms of administering medication, I just have to slow down so that you give the right medication. We all know the rights of medication administration, the right medication, the right dose, to the right patients, the right timing, and many other rights. Patients have right to refuse, they have right to refuse their medications. The right explanation of the details of what the indication of that medication, the right to, the side effects of that medication, the many rights of medication. So, and then you could be sued if you give the wrong medication, if you give overdose and then the harm result from it, you could be sued. So in as much as we're in a hurry, we want to discharge our duties, our responsibilities in terms of medication administration, let us be careful, please. I am saying it to my fellow colleagues. I'm saying the same thing to myself. We need to be careful. There's this thing I read that happened when someone sort of administering Lactulose. It's an oral solution. He administered lorazepam oral solution, and the patient became comatose. But fortunately, the patient was able to. The hospital was able to revive the patient, but it was a litigative case here. Yeah, so we need to do as much as possible to prevent harm, to ensure patient medication safety. So friends, I will be stopping here today. I hope you just get a 1 point or 2 from what we talked today. I'll see you later. I'll see you next episode. Sorry. Bye.